نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي رب زدني علما. So today we are going to start our lesson, and that is what Sigul Musanna. Okay, the Siga that is related to dual means explaining or giving the sense of two meaning of two persons, and you are very well aware of that. But now we have to discuss very important points. What are those important points? Say for example, there is verb number one and there's noun. So in combination we have to discuss that if a noun and that is muthanna that comes after a verb, what should be the form of the verb? This is the first thing. If a noun, al-ism, that is a muthanna that comes after the verb, what should be its form? This is first thing. Number two, if the noun that comes first, then what should be should be the form of the verb that comes after the noun? This is number two. Number three, we have to discuss like we know that nouns they represent ghaib. Nouns they represent definitely ghaib, most of them, because noun if you do not add any identification mark, like if you do not add any a zamir, so it will be difficult to express that noun that represents any means mukhatab or mutakallim. Then we will also discuss this thing that if we have got the siga that related to mukhatab, means second person to whom you're talking, so are we supposed to bring noun or zamir marfuun munfasil? And if you're talking about mutakallim, so are we supposed to bring noun or zamir marfu munfasil before the verb or after the verb? These are the things. So muthanna and the jama. Then we'll be discussing about, we are having a discussion about maf'ul bihi. And maf'ul bihi, what do we mean by maf'ul bihi over here? If any a zamir that comes, means say for example, there is a verb, there is a noun, and the noun is what? That is what the doer of the action, that is fa'il. And if there is a zamir, that becomes maf'ul bihi. So how should we use that zamir? That should that be attached with verb, or that should come after the noun? And then we have got the zamir in different ways. That zamir of mutakallim means mukhatab, then zamir of mutakallim. Now zamir of mutakallim, like if ya mutakallim comes, and that is what it's there's a verb, there's also a fa'il, and there's ya mutakallim that becomes maf'ulun bihi. So what is the way to write that zamir? Shall we write it just after the verb, or should we mention it after the fa'il? And if we are going to attach that zamir with the verb, then what is the way to attach it? So these are the questions we are going to address today. So this is what the first of all I wanted to just give you orientation of the topics we are going to discuss, inshallah. And first of all, you need to understand these topics, and then you're going to practice them properly. But the first of all, understanding is very important. So let's start with verb and noun. Now, when we talk about muthanna, and this is what muthanna, al-waldani, this is muthanna. And also muthanna, al-bintani, this is what? Muthanna. Al-waldani, this is musanna, and al-bintani musanna. First of all, we need to differentiate that al-waldani, this indicates mudhakkar, and al-bintani that indicates muannath. So we have got Muthanna for mudhakkar and muthanna for muannas. Means we have got both muthannas. And definitely when we look at the verb over here, that is dhahaba, this indicates this verb is used for mudhakkar. And when we talk about al-waldani dhahaba, that indicates that this verb is used for muthanna, mudhakkar and ghaib. And this is dhahaba, wahid, mudhakkar, ghaib. And then when we use al-biltani, before that, that is zahabatil bintani. Means this verb is for wahid muannath, and that is ghaib. But after the al bintani, zahabata. So first we have just read it. I have not told you anything, any rule related to these things. So we are going to discuss the rule now. What is the rule? We know that if we are using wahid ism like ذهب زيد, ذهبت فاطمة, ذهبت عائشة, means so forth, so on. But when we have got a file and that is muthanna, and when we talk about file, this is ism. So over here we see this is ism, al-waldani, this is ism. Now, if ism muthanna comes after the verb, what should be the form of the verb? So the form of the verb, if ism muthanna comes after the verb, the form of the verb would be wahid mudhakkar, wahid mudhakkar ghaib. And that will indicate that two children went in past. So what is the point? Point is this, that if there is muthanna and muthanna ism, and that ism comes after the verb, so what is the form of, what should be the form of the verb? The form of the verb would be wahid mudhakkar ghaib. This is the first thing. The second thing is this, if fail comes after ism, over here fail comes before ism. Now if fail comes after ism, like al-waldani, now if fail comes before it, if ism comes before fail, then fail would be muthanna mudhakkar ghaib, and it is given over there al-waldani dhahaba. So we have two situations. The first situation is, or the first rule is, if the ism that indicates muthanna mudhakkar and it comes after the verb, then the verb would be wahid mudhakkar ghaib. And if the muthanna ism that indicates muthanna mudhakkar ghaib, then the verb that comes after it, that will be of muthanna mudhakkar ghaib. Like we have got the example, al-waldani dhahaba. This is the first point related to mudhakkar, and in that first point we have two sub points. Number two, when it comes to muthanna muannath, now the same rule applies over there. Like we say, zahabat fatimatu, Fatma went in the past. But if there is a noun and that noun indicates or expresses two muannath, like al-bintani, and that comes after the verb, then the verb before it, it would be of wahid muannath ghaib, like dhahabatil bintanu, right? But if the noun that indicates or that means it tells about two muannas, that is musanna muannas, that comes before the verb, then the verb that follows it or that comes after it, it would be of musanna muannas ghaib, like al bintani dhahabata. First of all, dhahabatil bintani, then it will be al bintani dhahabata. So there are two sub points in the second point. Now it comes to musanna mukhatab, and definitely when we talk about mukhatab, we have again two types, that is mudhakkar and muannas. Okay, and when we then it comes to mutakallim. Then when we talk about mutakallim, it also indicates like mudhakkar and muannas, but it's common for that. It is common for muannas and mudhakkar. But in musanna mukhatab, it has different sigas for mudhakkar and different sigas for muannas, right? Now, in this situation, when we talk about musanna mukhatab, we are not going to use noun, we'll use zamir marfu munfasil instead. And in that case, zamir will always come before the verb. So when it comes before the verb, so like antuma, then definitely we are going to use the verb that indicates musanna mudhakkar hadir, the siga that we are going to use after the zamir that is used for musanna mudhakkar hadir. Then the siga will be used of musanna muzakkar hadir, like antuma, because anta, that indicates wahid muzakkar hadir, but antuma musanna muzakkar hadir. So we'll be using dhahabtuma, dhahabtuma, antuma, dhahabtuma. There's no chance that verb is going to be used before antuma, because antuma is zamir marfu munfasil, and we have got number of examples of them as well. So then when we talk about mutakallim, and in mutakallim we know that the siga that is used commonly for mudhakkar and monas. So again, if we use nahnu, if I use ana, because over here we are discussing musanna, we are not discussing wahid. Wahid has been discussed. If I say ana, I will be ana dhahabtu. But when we talk about nahnu, it will be nahnu dhahabna. Means before the uh, siga, that is what zamir marfu munfasil, and that indicates jama mutakallim. And after that, we are going to use the verb that is used for jama mutakallim as well. So nahnu dhahabna. So I repeat for the sake of repetition and to make it more clear. The first point we are discussing, that means the point is what using noun with verb. And over here we are discussing the siga of muthanna. So with respect to muthanna, ism, that is what ism. If that ism comes after the verb, and definitely that musanna means ism does not indicate mudhakkar hadir or muannath hadir or mutakallim. That definitely indicates ghaib. So if it comes before after the verb, so verb will be of wahid mudhakkar ghaib. And if ism comes before the verb, so the following verb would be of musanna mudhakkar ghaib, like al waldani dhahaba. Same is the case with musanna muannas. If it comes after the verb, the first verb means, so if verb comes first, verb would be of wahid muannas ghaib. And if verb comes after the siga of musanna muannas ghaib, means ism, then the verb will be of musanna muannas ghaib, like al bintani dhahabata. But when it comes to mutakallim, for mutakallim we do not use noun, we use zamir marfu munfasil instead, like antuma. So after antuma, we are supposed to use the siga of musanna mudhakkar hadir. And in case of means mutakallim, we are going to use zamir marfu munfasil of jama, and after that the siga of jama from mazi. So it will be antuma dhahabtuma and nahnu zahabna. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, brother Aman, clear?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now we are going to read the exercises followed by this concept, but we are not doing right now. We are going to clear the concepts. So this is what now the siga of jama. Now when we talk about again jama, means for ghaib there will be siga of ism, noun, like al-muallimuna, and for muannas al-muallimatu. So al-muallimuna, if it comes after the verb, so the siga of wahid mudhakkar ghaib for the verb is to be used, like dhahab al-muallimuna. But if muallimun, that is ism, it comes before the verb, then the verb followed by that siga, that would be of jama mudhakkar ghaib, like al-muallimuna dhahabu. in case of, in the first case, when noun comes after the verb, so the siga means siga that is related with uh, fi'l, that will be of, would be of wahid mudhakkar ghaib, like dhahab al muallimuna. But if noun comes before the verb, then the verb followed by it would be of jama mudhakkar ghaib, like al muallimuna dhahabu. Now the same is the case with the jama muannas ghaib, like al muallimat. If muallimat comes after the verb, then verb would be a wahid muannas ghaib, like dhahabatil muallimatu. But if muallimat comes first before the verb followed by it would be a jama muannath ghaib, like al muallimatu dhahabna. Then the again the concept of mukhatab and jama. Mukhatab and jama means hadir. So for hadir means for mukhatab, we are supposed to use a dhamir marfu munfasil, and that comes always before the verb. Verb followed means it is followed by verb. Like antum. So antum is what? Jama mudhakkar hadir or jama mudhakkar mukhatab. So the siga for jama mudhakkar hadir in verb is zahabtum. Okay, nasartum, zarabtum, fathtum, karumtum, etc., etc. So it would be antum zahabtum. And again, we talk about the mutakallim. Means over here we also have jama muannas mukhatab as well. So it will be antunna zahabtunna, because antunna that indicates this is zamir marfu munfasil used for jama muannath hadir, and zahabtunna that is the siga of verb, and that also indicates jama muannath hadir. So antunna zahabtunna. And for jama mutakallim, again the same case as we discussed for muthanna, it will be nahnu zahabna, because it always comes before the verb, and the verb that comes after it would be of jama mutakallim. So nahnu, we know this is the zamir that indicates jama mutakallim. So after that, we will be having the siga verb that is jama for mutakallim. So nahnu dhahabna. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. So, sir, the reason why, say, for example, the very first sentence, ذهب المعلمون, the reason why we don't say ذهبوا المعلمون, that would be grammatically incorrect, because that would then have two subjects.
Yes.
Which is incorrect. You only need one subject. So that's why it's wahid.
Very good. Very good.
Wahid.
Very good. Yes.
Okay.
Very good. Good point, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. Very good. Brother Ayman, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Now we are going to discuss about maf'ulun bihi. That is very important. This is what mabhathun fil maf'uli bihi. This is the mabhath, the discussion with respect to maf'ul bihi. And you know that the concept of maf'ul bihi, verb, file, and maf'ul. Verb is what that shows action. File that does the action, or the doer of the action. And al-maf'ul, the receiver of the action. Like, let me give you example. And alhamdulillah, you know that. Like sa'ima, sa'imatu, no, sorry. Katabat sa'imatu kitaban. Kataba sa'imatu kitaban. Or we can say katabat sa'imatu kitaban. Or ذهب أيمن أمرا. ذهب أيمن أمرا. So this is what we say, that zahaba is what verb. Sorry, zaraba is a verb, and aman is what doer of the action, file, and amran is maf'ulun bihi, receives the action. In the first sentence, like katabat is a verb, and sa'imatu is what file, and kitaban is what maf'ulun bihi, receiver of the action. But over here, we are going to discuss the maf'ul bihi with respect to zamir. This is very important. We are discussing about zamir. If zamir, that becomes maf'ul bihi, like zamir of mukhatab and zamir of mutakallim. we are going to discuss these two, Zamir of Mukhatab and Zamir of Mutakallim, and also Zamir of Ghaib as well. Zamir of Ghaib as well. But in Zamir of Ghaib, there is one thing that is apart from Mukhatab and Mutakallim. I'm going to let you know why I'm saying so. Okay, let me just go to the first thing. This is the first example. Zarabaka Zaidun. Zaidun hit you. Now Zarab is a verb and Zaidun is a file, and Kaf is what? Zamir Muttasil means Mansub Muttasil. Mansub Muttasil. And that is for Mukhatab. So in such a situation, the maf'ulun bihi would come means in between verb and noun, verb and file. That will come in between verb and file. Means that will be, the zamir will be attached to verb, like zarabaka zaidun, or even zarabaki zaidun, right? So the zamir of maf'ulun bihi, that is for mukhatab, that would be attached with verb, that would come between the verb and file. This is what we are talking about, zamir, not about ism. We have already learned about ism, many more things. If you remember, when we were talking about fail lazim and fail mutaaddi, so there were many examples of that. And if you need some examples, you can refer back or you can ask me as well. So this is the first thing. When we are having the zamir of mukhatab. Now another thing. If zamir is baris, that is means that is zahir, like sa'attu. Sa'attu. You know the tu is a zamir and that is baris. That is not mustatar. That is barid means that is means zahir. And that is what means attached with verb as well. So verb and file. Now in that case, the zamir of ghaib would be attached with that means zamir baris. Over here, like sa'adtu, I helped. Who? I helped him. And even sa'adtuka, I helped you. Ra'aytuhu, I saw who? Him. Or ra'aytuka, I saw you. So over here, that comes after the file, and because file is zamir baris, and that is what baris means. That is that we can see it. It is wazih, it is zahir, right? So these are the first two means in the means we can understand in the first point there are two things. If zamir is not baris and there's no zamir at all in the verb, means because the file is expressly used separately, in that case, like zarabaka zaitun, so that zamir will be attached with the verb and the file would come afterwards. So zamir would come in between fa'il and file. And the same is the case, means the same is not the case. Actually, the case is this, that in the case when zamir is baris, like sa'attu, zarabtu, nasartu, now nasartuka, then the zamir would come after the verb. It will would also be attached with the siga, right? So this is the difference. I think our session is ending, so we'll be joining back, inshallah, for discussing this whole concept, and then, inshallah, we'll discuss more things. So please, when this ends, join back. Any questions from your side?
Ustad, can you please repeat this? Dhamir baris and the other is
yes, sir.
Zahir.
Yes, I will repeat it.